everybody, and welcome back to Jenny and Jesus. This is going to be part 2 of the Flat Earth series. And yes, you heard me correctly, the Earth is flat. Now, I can guarantee that there is a box below me that says, Flat Earth is an archaic belief and scientifically disproven. But you know, scientist, Satanist, same thing to me for real. I mean, think about it. We are literally indoctrinated to believe this. The indoctrination begins in school and continues with NASA. At this point, you are probably convinced that we live on a globe. But let me just ask you one question. I actually have a little experiment for you. Get a bowl of water and spin with it. What happens? The water spills everywhere. So you want me to believe that on a small bowl, it spills out everywhere. But on the grand scheme of things, on this huge planet that's covered in water, it doesn't fall out. Oh, but they'll tell you it's gravity. But did you know that gravity is only a theory? It's not a fact. Universal gravity is a theory. Einstein's theory of general relativity. They don't want you to question anything. But when you start questioning things, you'll see that a lot of what they said, if not all of it, makes no sense. They condition and program people to believe that we are spinning on a ball, just flying through space endlessly. And just ask yourself, well, why would they lie? Well, they want to eliminate God. I mean, think about it. If you're on planet G47 discovering water on their moon, why would you need God? I mean, we can just go live on Mars eventually or some other planet. We can create our own reality, create our own world, and be our own God. But no, in all actuality, God loves us. We are the center of his love and affection, not the universe. The universe isn't even real. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then he placed a firmament. So God is sitting above, on his throne, above the firmament. We are the center of his love. He cherishes us and loves us, and they don't want you to know that, and that's why they lie to you. Now, I believe that the stars and constellation rotate around us, or rather rotate around Polaris, not the other way around. And Polaris may be God's throne, but I don't know, I'm just speculating. But what I can tell you for sure is if you look at any time lapse of the stars in the night sky, you will see that they rotate around Polaris. And think about it, the constellations have never changed. We have the same stars that we've had over 2,000 years ago. And if we're ever expanding, well, why haven't the stars changed? Don't they live and die? Don't the stars have a life cycle? I don't know. When you start really questioning NASA and space and everything they tell you, you will find out it makes absolutely no sense. But then you'll be labeled archaic. So anyways, in this video, we are going to look into NASA. Have you ever wondered who actually created NASA? It was actually Dwight D. Eisenhower, a president in 1958. What? A president? I would have thought a scientist, right? But it's weird because isn't this the same president that supposedly met with aliens? I don't know. I just find that really interesting. 2 years later, in 1960, President Eisenhower transferred his rocket development group to a man named Werner von Braun. Accordingly, von Braun became director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center and chief architect of the Saturn V launch vehicle. And there is so much with Saturn, but I'm going to get into that in another video. Why is this important? Well, that vehicle would propel Americans to the moon. This is also the rocket that sent the first American astronaut, Alan Shepard, on a suborbital flight. He's considered the first American in space. Shortly after Shepard's successful flight, President Kennedy challenged America to send a man to the moon. And in 1969, It happened. That was only 9 years after Eisenhower appointed Werner von Braun. Von Braun would go down in history to be one of the most important rocket developers and champions of space exploration in the 20th century. So, why does this matter? Well, I think that we can agree that based on NASA's own website, Werner von Braun was a crucial part to sending the first man to space and to the moon. Well, did you know that when Werner von Braun died, he put something very interesting on his tombstone? Werner von Braun died shortly after the successful moon mission, and he put Psalm 19:1 on his tombstone. That reads, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." There's that word again, firmament. Now let me ask you, why would somebody that was exploring space and the moon and doing all this stuff with NASA and yay, why would he put the firmament on his tombstone? He could have put anything, but he made sure to tell us. Because all they do is lie. And the firmament shows God's handiwork. Like, again, I don't care what NASA says. Look into things and question them for yourself. Now, the other super interesting thing about NASA is they have a lot of documents. But did you know that some of those documents actually state that the Earth is flat? Like, what? So I'm going to give you some of the names of those documents, and you just come to your own conclusion after reading them. Okay, so the first document that we're going to go over is Determination of Angles of Attack and Side Slip from Radar Data and a Roll Stabilized Platform. In the abstract, it states, the method is limited, however, to application where a flat, non-rotating Earth may be assumed. Like, what? I thought we live on a globe. So why, for your determination of angles and whatever you're doing, are you assuming that the Earth is flat and non-rotating? I just make it make sense, that's all. The next document is Investigation of Aircraft Landing in Variable Wind Fields. In the Equations of the Motion section, the aircraft trajectory model employed in this study was derived based on the following assumptions. And you can see all the assumptions. But the very first one that they name is that they are assuming that the Earth is flat and non-rotating. And friends, this is right on NASA's website. Anybody can look at this. Again, I just find that extremely interesting. The third document I found is U.S. Standard Atmosphere of 1962. And in this one, when you get to this page, it says, for the accuracy required in this document, it suffices to treat the surface as an ellipsoid whose flattening ellipsity is... So when you look at the ellipsoid, it's like the globe. It's like how they think that Earth is, but just in like a stranger shape. Like, I thought we were a perfect circle or sphere, but I don't know. I just can't keep up with their lies. But the point is they are flattening that ellipsoid. Why are you flattening it if it's round? Why are you stating that the globe is flat and non-rotating? Just makes absolutely no sense. Now, I'm sure that there are more documents, but in the Bible it says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. And NASA done snitched on themselves with 3 witnesses of 3 documents. Now, in order to make this indoctrination stick, they had to create an icon. And that icon is Robert Simon, who was known as Mr. Blue Marble. You know the blue marble that's on every iPhone, that's everywhere? Like, it's literally everywhere because they want you to believe it's so bad. But did you ever wonder like how they got that photo of the Earth, or like why that's the representation of the globe? Well, don't worry, I'll show you, and I'll do it once again by NASA's website. In this document, they interviewed Robert Simon and asked him, what do you do? And what is most interesting about your role here at Goddard? How do you help support Goddard's mission? And he said, my role is to make imagery from earth sciences data. I turn data into pictures. So right there, you're just guessing based on data of what the earth should look like. All right, what is the coolest thing you've ever done as a part of your job at Goddard? The last time anyone took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere, one side of the globe, was in 1972 during Apollo 17. I'm gonna cut him off right there because he's already lying. So all I did was ask Google if they took pictures of the Earth from the moon. And it says yes. Photos of the Earth were taken from the moon during the Apollo 11 mission in 1969. So, hello? What do you mean that nobody's taken a picture since 1972? By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth. So we did. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. My part was integrating the surface, clouds, and oceans to match people's expectations of how Earth looks from space. That ball became the famous blue marble. So you had to integrate the clouds and surface and basically everything. So you basically made up everything of how the Earth looks. Like pretty much, that's from what I'm reading. Everything was fabricated, and it was hard to come up with the flat map. No, it wasn't, because the Earth is already flat. What was hard for you was to make a flat surface go around a ball, because it doesn't belong that way, because it's not realistic. This is just crazy. Like, all this information is available and people just won't research it. Why? Because school told you, because they told you, because the world told you. How about you do your own research? Like, and it's just annoying because people think I'm crazy or weird or something's wrong with me. But no, like, I've actually just researched things and looked into them and didn't believe what everyone told me. Like I did for like the first 30 years of my life, but not anymore, bro. Like, you'll never catch me being deceived on something that they spread to the masses ever again. And I don't want this video to come off offensive or anything, but it's just like more people need to wake up and more people need to realize that they've been lied to. And most importantly, realize that there is a king on the throne above that firmament named Jesus Christ, who wants a relationship with you. If you enjoyed this video and it blessed you, please like, share, comment, subscribe so we can push this video out into the algorithm and get more people saved by the Lord Jesus Christ and wake up to all the lies that they've been telling us. So until I see you again, stay favored and stay blessed.